I just like to say that I know working a 9 to 5 has its downsides. Okay. And then it's often incredibly stressful for a lot of people. See, all right, already, just a few, just not even a sentence in, or just a sentence in. I find it ironic that people who have absolutely no, well, not no, who is this calling me? People who have very little responsibility are stressed out. Like, let's think about it. If you are a 9 to 5 worker, you have a job where it starts when you get there and it ends at around 4 or 5 p.m. You have no people dependent on you to make sure that they can feed their families or put a roof over their family's head or have insurance. Like, you're not doing any of that. Literally all you're doing is worrying about yourself. You're driving from home to work, putting in a couple hours maybe of actual work, and then you leave. So the fact that this person thinks that a 9 to 5 is incredibly stressful, this tells me this is a person who's never built or done anything in his life. Because if you built or done anything in your life, you will know and understand in your bones that having a 9 to 5 job is the easiest thing that you can do, which is why most people do it, because that's the easiest thing. If it were easier to go and build your own business and employ people, everyone else would be doing that. But that's not what we see. So already this tells me that either this person is entitled and thinks that, like, you know, their 9 to 5 job should just be them sitting there. I have a hard time respecting this type of, I'm gonna read it. I have a hard time respecting people like this because, you know, my grandpa wasn't like this, and I was raised more to be like him and to understand what hard work is. Nobody who's working a 9 to 5 is out in the fucking field digging ditches, laying down concrete, or going into like weird crawl spaces to deal with broken pipes. Like nobody's doing that. In fact, while I'm here doing my 9 to 5 job, sometimes I hear the work that's being done outside because, you know, the area they're building up stuff all the time. I see people putting roofs on houses. I'll start my day at around 8, and they're out there before I start my day because they're out there, you know, I'm walking my dog and they're already working, you know, and then I come in here and I sit on my desk or sit at my desk in the AC in the convenience of my home, and I just sit here and do my 9 to 5. When I'm done and I take Roscoe back out for his afternoon walk, they're still out there on the fucking roof putting the roof up. So this over here, talking about incredibly stressful. It's like, bitch, you ain't done shit. How is this stressful? Like, really, how is it stressful? I don't get it. But, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm older. Maybe this is his first job. Anyway, every job is difficult to some capacity. No, that's false. That is false. My job is easy. I've done difficult work. I used to be a janitor, and this is not even that difficult compared to other people I've known. But I was a janitor for the Alvin Community Center. It is a 15,000 square foot facility, and it was my job to clean that facility every day during the summer months. So it's like 3.5 months. Every part of that facility, that includes outside. So that means that when it's 100 degrees heat outside, well, I'm outside cleaning, you know, cleaning off the windows because windows got to be cleaned, even the outside. Sweeping up the streets because people are filthy. They fucking litter everywhere and drop shit. So like, it was my job to make sure that the premises around our building were well kept. Also cooking. I mean, but I enjoy cooking. I don't consider that work. And I got to do more of that later. And like, you're like, oh, you want to cook? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to cook. I love cooking. Anyway, so I think that was a more difficult job than what I do now. By the way, that job, I got paid $5.15 an hour to do that job. I get paid significantly more than that to sit on my ass every day and get fat. I actually lost weight in that job. This job, I've gotten fat. That's the difference. All right, anyway, let's go on. Every job is difficult in some capacity. Not really. If you wouldn't do it for free, then it's hard. Okay. He says something that I agree with now. If you wouldn't do it for free, then it's hard. Maybe that's why I find what I do easy, because I'll do it for free. I've been doing it for free. Like like maybe that's it. It's that. All right, I'll keep reading. He said he has a gem within the first two sentences. So I will keep going. No one likes work. I love work. How can you be a man and not enjoy work? That's literally the purpose of us being here, is to work. To support others. That's what responsibility is to work. The thing is that Mother Nature is always going towards chaos. Or maybe I shouldn't say chaos. Mother Nature is destroying everything that we build. Everything. The house that you build today is going to deteriorate over time until it's no longer a livable house. How do you ensure that that house remains livable? Well, you have to do work to, you have to do work to fix the work that Mother Nature has done on your house. Every time it's rained, how much energy is in that rain, and how much of that energy went into deteriorating your house? Well, it's going to take work for you to go and, I guess, overcome that deterioration that Mother Nature put on your house, right? So this idea that like no one likes to work, well, it's like, if you don't like to work, that tells me you don't like to eat. And if you don't like to eat, then you probably don't like to live. So it's like, if you don't like to live, why should we care about your opinions? It's like, go die. Like, if you don't like to work, that's how I feel. Like, I don't buy this that no one likes to work. A lot of the people who I surround myself with, they like work. In fact, that's what we do. We work. So I don't know. It seems like an attitude adjustment needs to be happening here. Unless you're in the, oh, okay. I see. Well, sir, I enjoyed to work even before I was in the 1%. I like, real talk. I enjoyed working, and I can't really argue with this though, because when I was doing, actually, you know what? When I worked at Alvin Community Center, initially I hated it, but around month 2, I started to enjoy it a lot. I got to, I started talking to more of the people who would be there. It was typically seniors during the day, because believe it or not, senior citizens or older folks, they don't really have, their children around, right? Like you would think, because their children are out working, and a lot of them are lonely because either they've had spouses die, or divorces or whatever. And as you get older, you're less mobile, and younger people really don't want to talk to you for whatever reason. So a lot of them are like lonely. So their social interactions, they'll go to like a center, like kind of where I was at, the Alvin Community Center, and they'll hang out there the entire day. There'll be like games, like TV, movies, all that kind of food, that kind of stuff. So yeah. I started to enjoy it, even though I hated it at first, because it was hard. But what I found is that the hard part became easy. Like for y'all may be like, oh my gosh, like, it must be so hard to be out cleaning windows in 100-degree heat. Well, it was until it wasn't. I became used to it, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And I remember my first, few weeks, I was sore as hell, like everything hurting, but I started to enjoy that, and I started to get stronger. I started to look different, and I started to go to the gym more, and I was just like, you know what, like, it's fine. It aligns with what I'm doing. So I think that's one thing that everyone can learn from this, is that try to find areas where you can align your work with what you're doing in real life. If you're not doing anything in real life, maybe that's why you don't like work. It's because your life probably is not that great if you're not working. Even rich people I know, they all work. You'd be surprised that, like, not working is boring. You need to do something. But yeah, I'll read this. So unless you're one of the 1% who've managed to find a job doing something that you've loved, well, I guess I'm lucky. I'm not trying to make anyone's suffering seem insignificant. I'm trying to offer perspective. Well, so far you haven't offered any perspective. That's the thing. Like, I haven't seen any perspective so far. But maybe it's in this, these few paragraphs down here. So maybe we'll read through that. So we see here, casual economist, he enjoys working. Like, most of the people who I know enjoy working. So maybe what he should have said, and this could be a communication issue, is maybe no one likes working for others. Maybe that's what he meant to say. Or maybe that's what he should have said to not catch me. To not get, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? Plenty of people love working. Basketball players, when they're playing, most of them speak of how much they love it. NFL players, when they're playing, they all speak about how much they love it. Entertainers, actors, rap, like all of these people, they're performing work. That's work that they're doing, and they all seem to love it. These YouTube creators, these influencers that I see, like they're all working and they all seem to love it. So I don't know. Maybe this person just needs to be around non-toxic people, because like I don't know. Like I don't know. I have started to notice a trend amongst both the people I know who work office jobs, as well as on here. The idea that working a 9 to 5 is literal hell and inhumane. Who the hell is saying this? It must be kids. It must be kids who've been given and coddled all their life and given everything for people to think that this is hell and inhumane. To trade your time for money in a country where it's not forced upon you. You could trade your time for nothing. Like you could just sit there and not trade your time for anything and be homeless and starve to death. In fact, I wish that we had more of that here. Not in the not in a bad way, but just more of the like, just let people fail. Like if they don't want to do something, fuck them. Just kick them out the country, to be honest. Just like, oh, you don't want to contribute to our society, to improving what we have, because it takes work. It took work to get to where we are. And it's going to take work to maintain where we are, and it's going to take work to progress from where we are. So it's just like, if you don't like to work, maybe you don't belong in this country. Just saying. Because it's just like, if you're not contributing, why are you here? You're just attacked. You're just a burden to the rest of us who want to improve our country and who want to, guess just like, who want to work. But anyway, I'll keep going. Working as a kitchen manager, I spend at least 40 hours a week. Okay, 40. Oh, 40. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. He spent at least 40 hours a week standing in 45 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's about 100, 105. All right. So he works in the kitchen. Okay, I worked in the kitchen too, and it is an oppressive environment. I don't mean oppressive in the way that, a lot of people like me who say that word. I mean like it's tight and cramped. Like it's not a lot of freedom to move around. It's also hot, like hot, because you have burners happening, and then you're moving around, and you have your clothes on. But then it's also very it will only make sense to some of you who've worked in situations where it's all men and like men under pressure. So the best experience, or not the best example I can think of that some of you may know is when I was going offshore and working on some of the oil rigs, or on some of the floating platforms, like the ships. Those were working in the kitchen is kind of like that. Like there's very much a hierarchy, and it's enforced. But you know what? I like it. It's kind of free. It's freeing because you could talk shit, talk all kinds of shit. That's literally all we would do. Just talk all kinds of shit, and like nobody would be in their feelings, and shit would get done. Like there would be headbutting sometimes, but it was always respectful, but not that fake respect. It's the real respect because I believe that respect comes from fear. Let me turn on my music. I don't know why my music just went off. Turn that back on. Yeah. So respect comes from fear. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, is that the basis of respect is fear. The fear that the person who you're respecting can do something to you. They have some type of power over you, or they can like do something to you or take something away. So the basis of respect is fear. So when you're on an oil rig and you're around a bunch of other You know, those types of people who've been out on this freaking platform for like we have a limit of 3 weeks, 21 days. So who've been on these platforms for 21 days, and this all they do is just they're working in like the most harshest environments. They say what's on their mind, and you know they got that old man dad strength. I don't know if y'all know about that old man dad strength, where it's just like, how the hell are you this strong? It was that kind of shit where you look at them, you don't think nothing much of them, but man, you don't want to tussle with them. They strong as hell. Anyway, let's see. So working as a kitchen manager. All right, no wonder. All right, so I don't call this a 9 to 5 though, but maybe we'll call this a 9 to 5. No, kitchen manager. But if you're a kitchen manager only having to work 40 hours a week, man, you're lucky, because yeah, you're lucky. Like I would believe 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I would believe that, because that's typical. But 40 hours a week, man, you're lucky. You must be working at a high-end fancy restaurant. Except now he's saying no air conditioning, no ventilation, other than smoke extraction fans. All right, okay. Wearing fire/grease-proof pants, an apron, grease-proof boots. Typically, you only need to wear slip-resistant, non-slip boots, because the floor is always wet. Because a lot of times to clean the kitchen, it's easier to just take a hose and just like spray everything and not have to worry about getting the floor wet. The floors have drainage in them anyways. So the floor is always slippery, and it's not just a normal kind of slippery. It's a special kind of slippery, because it's like a fine layer of oil, because you know your freaking kitchen, mixed with this water, and it's just always kind of wet, because you know as you're cooking, you know stuff might fly on the floor, and that's the point, right? Like you don't want to be worrying about not getting stuff on the floor, even though obviously it would make the experience better for everyone, but you know, that's how it works. So he spent an additional 15 to 20 hours a week prepping, cleaning, ordering ingredients, having meetings, fixing shit that's broke, rostering shifts, and dealing with incident reports, as well as being a part-time pseudo accountant for the owner. Okay, so I wonder does he think that if he were to own his own business that he wouldn't have to do these things? Like let's just pretend that he decided to open his own restaurant. Is he not gonna have to do any of these things, or is he gonna have to do more work? Because a lot of business owners I know who run their business, they're doing 60, 70, 80 hours a week, every week. And hell, even I was at a point where I was like that, where like when I was running my thing, there was no, like, I didn't really take vacation. When I did take a vacation, my laptop was with me. And you know, when I'm not doing whatever, I'm working. So I'm literally working throughout the day. And it got to a point to where, like, for me, like 6 hours of work is nothing. Like that's my default every day, except for Sunday now. I made a promise to myself a few months ago that I would no longer work on Sundays. So I've held good on that, except for January 1st, where I did a stream on a Sunday when I know I shouldn't have, but it was going to a Monday. That was my excuse. Plus it's a new year. But yeah, like, you know, 6 hours a day is nothing. So to, you know, do another 4 or 5 or 6 on top of that, in my opinion, is nothing. You have 24 hours in a day. Like in my case, I sleep maybe 6 hours, 6, 7 hours a day. So that leaves me with about 18 hours to do whatever the hell I want to do with. So if I wanted to, I can put 8 hours into one signal, and then 8 hours into whatever other thing I have going on, and then maybe an hour or two to go to the gym. So I can do all of that. There's a lot of things you can accomplish in 18 hours. But anyway, when I was the driller's offsider, reverse circulation, that was close to hell. To those of you who don't know what being an RC driller's offsider entails, you know exactly what I mean. Your standard uniform is long high-vis pants, a long-sleeve high-vis shirt, thick gloves, thick socks, steel toe boots, a neck sleeve, safety glasses, and a hard hat. PPE. You could have just said PPE, bro. Like that's it almost seems like he's listing all of the things to make it seem like, oh, there's so much. But like, as someone who's done this type of work, it wasn't that hard. I mean, it wasn't that bad, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but you know. But what's interesting is that when I was doing all these jobs, for all the talk about equality and like wanting the same, you know, the same thing as men that we have in corporate, I didn't see any women. saying like standing up saying, oh, we need to be jobs like how come these are all male dominant fields? I never saw any. So that's one thing that is very interesting. I've had the opportunity to work both in corporate as well as non-corporate, as well as like in international water type of things. And it's very interesting that like like when I used to go abroad to go to certain platforms or whatever, or to go inspect certain assets, it was very rare that I saw a female ever. And I gotta wonder, why was that? The pay was well. I mean, you get paid a lot, but it's just interesting that these jobs, which these pay a lot too, and they're really needed. But I don't really see a lot of people going into that who are female. I know a lot of guys who go into that though. You're working in often 50 plus Celsius heat. Oh, okay. I was about to say, where the hell are you getting 50 plus? I was like, there's only a couple places on Earth. Okay. Western Australian desert. So I wonder if this person's from Perth. If they're in the Perth area, because that's Western Australia, but it's the coast. I think it's the northwestern coast, I think. So yeah, for 12 to 14 hours per day for between 2 to 4 weeks in a row, with about 1 to 2 weeks off rotation. So what he's talking about is similar to what I used to do, where I would be on a rotation. Well, I didn't really rotate because I was technically on the technical side. So you have engineers who work on these platforms, who also help with the inspections, because you have the engineers who actually design and build the equipment that's down there that's being used actively. So I was with them, so when we would do these inspections, the engineers are the people who know all the things, all the parameters, what things should be, and I know about the AV and the drone and the software that they're using to do all of their stuff. So I was mostly there as a support for them. If that makes sense. I'm an engineering support, but it's not the support that y'all are thinking. It's more like, you have your support. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a team of people. And the engineers are generally not the kind of technical that I am. They're a different kind of technical, right? I'm a technical where it's I understand how our camera equipment works. And yes, I understand how our ROV works, the drone, the underwater drone with the umbilical cord. I understand how that works. I understand how the video feed, because it's SDI and all this kind of crap. I understand how to get our video feed to all of the different monitors, and I'm not talking about computer screen monitors. I mean all of the different systems that need to intake that feed, because we need to record it twice. Actually, we got to record it twice to make sure that we don't lose anything. But while we're also doing the inspection, it makes a lot of sense to actually do the inspection in real time, because it's you're out there you're on a 12-hour shift. What are you going to do? May as well just do the work, because it needs to be done by the time a week or two after the inspection job is over. So it's you're going to be sitting on your ass for 12 hours looking at this console, and if you notice anything, you got to put an annotation and do the things, and if there are errors, you got to go and fix it. It's all kinds of things. Databases getting corrupted and all kinds of shit. So yeah, what he's saying is I'm familiar with. I didn't do a rotation though, because my job wasn't to just do that. So it was oh, we have this asset, we need you to go out there, kind of thing. So maybe me doing it on a rotation for years, maybe it could get old, but I mean, yeah. There's actually one time, I didn't really have to deal with heat, like heat. Plus, I'm okay with heat in general. But I had to deal with this one time we had waves. It's hard to explain, because a lot of people haven't actually been out in the open ocean to understand what happens in the open ocean. Waves of, oh my gosh. There was a time I was trying to sleep, and yeah, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stay on this top bunk. I had to go as low as possible, because the boats, if it's doing this, you want to be lower rather than higher. Even though generally the deck were lower on the boat to try to prevent that, but we were getting waves that were 20, 30 feet, So imagine you're like you're trying to sleep and the boat's doing all this kind of shit, and then all of a sudden you feel weightless. That sucked. That sucked. And you can't leave it. You can't get away from it. And you know that if this boat fails, there's nothing. It's just water. So you're dying. You're dying for real. All right. So the job at its most basic is sprinting. I mean, sprinting back and forth, organizing, carrying 30 to 70 kilogram bags of dirt and mud all day, every day. I wonder, like, I wonder how diverse this position is. It's like maybe we need more representation for, like, we need more people doing this. It can't just be men. We need equality. You work with drug addicts, ex-felons, and often with people who are extremely low IQ. Not most, but some. Every waking day is at 3:30 a.m. Start at 4 a.m. Back to camp by 5 p.m. Repeat. I mean, hell, you get back home at 5 p.m. That's actually not bad. That's actually really not bad. My grandpa used to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. Every day. So, yeah, like waking up early, it's like, to me, that's normal. Cause I saw my grandpa do that. So maybe that's not normal. All right, working as a bartender, I spend 40 hours per week living in the nighttime. Wait, I spend 40 hours per week living in the nighttime? Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Most people wouldn't believe now how bad the sleep schedule for average bartender is. I sleep during the day, even on my off days, Sunday and Monday. And in total, I'll probably sleep around about 40 hours a week. All right, so wait, he sleeps for 40 hours a week? Is that a lot? That sounds like a lot. It's like 7 hours, 7.5 hours. Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm tripping. What am I doing? Yeah, 7. Okay, all right, never mind. I guess that's about what I sleep in. I just never did the math. I'm around 40, 48. I'm a little bit more than him. So let's see where I was sleeping today. By the way, I have a friend who also has a job like this. I have several friends who have jobs like this. One is a security guard at a local jail, at the jail here in Houston. And a couple others work in the medical, nurses, and one doctor. So, I mean, even those other types, I guess those aren't 9 to 5 still. So maybe that's the exception. So I've been in fights, called the police at least once a week, every week, been threatened with needles, seen people been glassed? I don't know what that means. And been sexually harassed, assaulted many times. I once had to help a 13-year-old girl who was drugged and nearly raped, call the Ambos and her parents. I'm not trying to post about how tough I am or how hard my life is. I'm trying to understand why people think that 9 to 5 work is difficult. Maybe. Oh, wait. Do we agree? Oh, okay. All right. Turns out, maybe we agree here. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's. I'm glad that I kept reading. So, I'm trying to understand why people think 9 to 5 work is difficult. Okay. All right. So, oh man. All right. You led me astray there for a minute. We agree, because like I don't think that 9 to 5 work is difficult at all. I think that is easy, and I think that's because, like this guy, I've also done work that's actually hard. So, all right, let me keep reading. The friends I have who are in entry-level office jobs get paid $75,000 a year to sit in an air-conditioned office, wake up at a gorgeous 6 to 7 a.m., have regular schedules, which I am unbelievably envious of, and have weekends free. Yes, absolutely. This is the one thing that, like, and honestly, this is still a pet peeve. When I hear just regular 9 to 5 workers tell me they're busy, that's a good way for me to just say, you know what, you're out of my life. I don't want you in my life. Because for someone who only has a job to think that they are busy is insulting to all of the people who do so much more than just have a job. So yeah, I feel a certain kind of way because I used to have more than just a job. And it's just like, you think you're busy? Even when I had a job, I was running a business, and my business actually made money. I was teaching, I was doing the gym, I was mentoring, And I had my regular 9 to 5 job. That's 5 different things. 5 different things going on. And like I was, I guess I knew enough to understand that there were people who were doing much more than me. So I never told people that I was busy. If someone was like, oh, we need help, or hey, can you come and do something, or we're having this thing, one thing that I would never tell them is that I'm busy. To me, that's just a stupid thing to say, because it assumes that like that no one else in life is busy. Everyone on earth who's doing anything is busy. It comes down to prioritization. So when people tell me that they're busy, what that tells me is that this person sucks at prioritization, and that I probably don't want to be around them anyways. And it's crazy how like all of my incredibly successful friends who I know are busy, and like, you know, cause I try to make it like I know that people are busy, so I keep that in mind. I know that these people are busy, and they're much busier than anybody who just has a 9 to 5 job. And if I need anything, or if I hit them up, it's never I'm busy. It's never that. And what's interesting is that I'm like that too, where it's like to a lot of my, you know, my peers or friends, that I am that really, really successful person, and I have a lot of other things going on. But it's rare that you will ever hear me tell any of them, oh, I'm busy. I've had people hit me up while I'm at work, and I'll be like, you know what? I can get my work done because I don't really have a schedule. I work whenever. And I mean that. Like, I work whenever I feel like it. So it's like it'd be 3 a.m. in the morning. If I feel like doing something, I'll literally go and do it. So like I know that about myself. I'm get this stuff done anyway. So I'll sit here and answer people's calls. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm busy, I can't talk, because like, you know, people are more important than whatever the hell I'm doing. Always, ever, like just always in general. Like what I'm doing is for people. So if a person calls me directly, then that tells me that I should probably, you know, handle that. That's more important. Anyway, so yes, this article is turning, or this blog post, whatever this is turning into something that we're on the same page. Because if all you have is a fucking 9 to 5 job, your life is easy. You may be like, oh, I have all these other things going on. I don't care, because everyone else has other things going on. And chances are they're not sitting in an office in air conditioning. Like this dude saying, waking up at normal times and having a regular schedule. That's the thing that most of my my friends who work, they don't understand when I'm like, I don't operate on a schedule. Oh, really? It's just like, no, like I don't know what's happening in my life. Like, I don't know what's happening, because I don't run from opportunity, and I understand that opportunity, it knocks once. A lot of people get into their minds that, you know, if an opportunity comes, they're just gonna sit there and wait for them. And it's just like, how stupid can you? But you know, that's why they are where they are, and that's why I'm where I am. So I can't be upset. But it's just interesting to me that like this person is picking it up too. And maybe this is why I get along really, really well. Maybe even more so with regular people who don't work in corporate. Because it seems like a lot of the corporate people, they have this misconstrued like view or perspective on how people live, where it's just like they forget that so many more people have it much, much, much worse than them. So if you're working in a corporation, you have reliable income. And I don't mean like, you know, you're going to keep your job. I mean that the checks don't bounce. I don't know if y'all ever had that. Like, the checks don't bounce. That's important. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's important to me. Don't take that for granted, because checks can bounce. I don't know if y'all knew that. All right, so from my point of view, the 9 to 5 life is a dream. I and a lot of people I know deeply envy. It's not hell to many I know. It seems like paradise. I agree, but I also disagree for 2 reasons. Generally, when you are doing one thing or another, you get used to that thing and you forget what it's like to not be doing that thing, which I don't know if that's all corporate workers. Maybe some corporate workers have always been relatively well off. I don't know. But I kind of understand why some people be like, oh, my 9 to 5. I kind of get it, because you could be in situations where, you know, the people around you are making your job or your life hell, but you need the job and it's hard for you to get another job. So from that, I can kind of understand. But I mean, that's no different from the person who's a plumber, and, you know, like they think that their job is so because they have to deal with customers who, you know, Basically, this is a human condition. It sounds like he was not sufficient, or some people just aren't sufficiently prepared for life. Or they think that things are easy, things will be given, and yeah, you just do the right thing, and then the right thing will happen to you. That's BS. Anyway, so I would like to say thank you for all the responses, both positive and negative. I understand this is quite an unpopular opinion. No, it's not. I think it's a loud minority of people who are going to say that, that this isn't the case. But like, I think this is the majority of people, because the majority of people on Earth don't have jobs that pay them a shit ton of money to sit in an air conditioner all day. That's not most jobs. Most jobs are the opposite of that. So I can't say that this is an unpopular opinion. Anyway, I'm glad that the discourse was relatively civil. I've seen about 50-50 positive and negative. Nah, not keeping the score. I would also like to say I made this post in a very different state of mind than I am in now. I posted this when I was quite angry at 2:30 after, like, okay, all right. Honestly, like, I don't know if I thought I disagreed with him, because I thought he was about to say that it's incredibly stressful, and I was just like, no. But turns out, we agree. All right, let me give him his upvote.